Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2023 Lucid Air Sapphire. Now this still has its original output in terms of power, so it's got 1,247 horsepower, 1,411 pounds-feet of torque from its tri-electric motors, which are powered by 118 kilowatt-hour of batteries, but it now weighs 4,172 pounds, which is a massive 1,126 pounds less than standard, while it now has off-road tyres and off-road suspension to go along with its all-wheel drive system, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.294 seconds, 0 to 104.348 seconds, which granted is slower than standard due to the off-road tyres limiting the acceleration that it can have, but it now can do 265 miles an hour at the top end. Now granted, we're probably not going to get up to that kind of speed, but it's nice to have some of that headroom. So EVs on this series have done reasonably well, to be honest, for the most part, with the likes of the Rimac Nevera still being in third place. Then we've got the likes of the BMW iX xDrive 50 in 19th, which was reasonably quick, surprisingly so, given I'm not a massive fan of that car. Then we had the GMC Hummer EV pickup in 14th, and the Lotus Evija is still in 27th place. So a fair decent amount of EVs in this series so far have been reasonably quick. So yeah, hopefully this will be able to join those kind of cars, because in a straight line there's no doubt that this car is monumentally fast. Even with its acceleration it is now, it's still really quick, but obviously it is quicker in terms of stock form. But in terms of its off-road capabilities, there's no real knowing what it can do here, because obviously it was never meant for dealing with these kind of stuff in terms of conditions and bumps and jumps of this kind of variety. So yeah, only real saving grace is, like a lot of the electric cars on this series, it still has its standard power output now. But granted, that is obviously quite a lot. Oh dear, we'll click that rock. Obviously that is still quite a lot in terms of power output. I'm going to give myself a couple of rewinds there, so we'll just say we've got 2 left, because I'm not scuppering this car's chances just because of the first 10 seconds or so of my idiocy. So yeah, a lot of other EVs still have had their standard power outputs, but that's been because they're generally a lot more powerful. Not sure why we're not able to give this any more power, but it still has plenty of power, more power than some cars on this series have had, even when they have been upgraded. So yeah, hopefully this will still be able to make up for its slightly decreased acceleration times, just due to the fact that the all-wheel drive and the electric drivetrain are fairly immediate in terms of delivering the amount of power that we need. Pretty heavy hit there, but we didn't crash around too much. Now this car in stock form was also pretty good in terms of handling. Probably not quite as good with these off-road tyres, although the reduction in weight will help. Certainly help the brakes, which we haven't been able to really improve. It's got good turning though, which is obviously helped by the fact that no combustion engine up front, you can turn those axles up front a lot more than you will be able to. So one big advantage with electric cars is you can increase the turning circle over your combustion engine counterparts. Saw this with the Skoda Enyaq, which has amazing turning with that car. The wheels turn a dramatic amount. Well, unfortunately that car is not on this game. Been a bit of a messy run so far. Clearing 150 down there, so that's pretty good. Oh dear. Got some airtime there that I was not expecting. and therefore we didn't have the braking capability. So we've got no more rewinders now. We never usually get massive amounts of airtime over that bump, so I just wasn't expecting it, but clearly this car is such good acceleration that it's able to build up a really rather amazing amount of speed in such a short space of time. The one reason this is so good at accelerating out of corners is because it has more torque than horsepower. But still, there we go across the finish line with a time of 3 minutes 17.175. So not quite as quick as some EVs that we've had on this series. We're just under 2 seconds behind the Lotus Sapphire, for instance, and we're also slightly behind the Extreme E number 44 X44. But we are slightly quicker than the Porsche Mission R, which was also an electric car. Not by a huge amount, it's by less than 0.1 of a second, but still quicker than that. We're also quicker than a Hennessy Venom F5. Other electric cars like the Audi RS e-tron GT are way behind us, as well as the Cupra Tavascan Concept, the Cupra Urban Rebel Concept, the Rivian R1T, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, and the Rivian R1S are also far behind us. Not sure if what other. Oh yeah, the Ital Design Da Vinci Concept is also behind us. So yeah, we are quicker than plenty of other electric cars. It's just that we're not quite as quick as some of the the better ones. So yeah, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th position in terms of electric cars overall by the looks of things. So not bad by any means, but it was a bit of a handful, quite frankly. It's obviously quite a large car. It still weighs quite a lot as well, and even though it has a fair decent amount of power and torque, it's obviously not any better than it was originally. So even though we have less weight, we do obviously have the disadvantage of now having off-road suspension and off-road tyres, which, on an off-road orientated vehicle worked perfectly well, but here with this car it did seem to scupper the handling somewhat. So yeah, which is a bit unfortunate, but still, it's by no means the worst time that we've had, and neither is it the worst time we've had it from an electric vehicle by any means. Just was anticipating it to be even quicker than it was, but yeah, unfortunately, due to it being a bit of a handful, just wasn't quite as quick as as I had hoped. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.